Welcome to the Bettendorf Public Library's Take-Home Workshop. In this take-home workshop, we're going to be making these adorable little yarn birds. Let's see what's in the kit. In your kit, you'll find 3 different yarns. You'll have 7 yards of the mustard, 7 yards of the variegated, and then I'm using black, but in your kit, you'll have 8 yards of gray yarn. So that's your 3 different yarns. You'll have a small square of paper that you'll use to make the beak of the bird. You'll have a piece of wire that we'll use for the feet. And then encased in the tape attached to the wire are a couple of beads. These will be used for the eyes of the bird. Then you'll also have a cardboard template like this, which will allow you to measure and cut your yarn into uniform pieces. What you'll need to supply for this craft are a pair of scissors, some glue, and a little piece of scratch paper that you'll just be wadding up into a ball. Tissue paper works very well. Something that's not too stiff, like cardstock, is not going to work well, but any scratch paper will work fine for that. The first step in making your bird is to make the beak. We're going to do that first because we want to glue it. We want to give the glue time to dry while we assemble the rest of the bird. So we have a small square of paper and it just needs to be rolled into a cone shape. For me, the easiest way to do that is to use a sharp pencil. So if I just wrap it around the tip of the sharp pencil, it makes a nice tight cone. Just like that. And then a little dot of glue in there. And then I will set that aside while it dries. And we have a beak. We'll trim that off or it'll make it a little shorter, but we've got our beak. Now we're going to start assembling the body of the bird using the yarn. So we're going to start with the back. In my case, I'm using black. In your kit, you have gray. And we're going to start wrapping it around our template, running in the direction of the 12 centimeter arrow. So we're just going to keep wrapping like that. Now this is a really good craft for using up scraps of yarn, bits and pieces that aren't enough for other projects. And if you don't want to measure your yarn, then know that you're going to wrap this around about 30 times. You want it to form about a centimeter or a third of an inch wide. We're going to keep wrapping until we get that width. It comes to about 8 yards for this weight of yarn. And then once that is wrapped, we're going to sneak our scissors in underneath and we're going to just cut. And then we'll have a length of threads. So we're going to set that aside. Now we're going to do the same with the other 2 colors, but instead of going the 12 centimeter length, we're going to go the 10 centimeter length and wrap it that way. So now we're going to go ahead and assemble the body of the bird. We're going to take our black, in your case the gray, we're going to lay it out horizontally like this. We're going to pull 1 strand out. We're going to need 1 strand. So pull one out and set it aside. So we've got our black there. Then we have our yellow, and we're going to lay it in the middle of the black vertically so that they're bisecting each other at the halfway point. And we're going to pull out 1 strand of yellow as well that we're going to use to tie that off. Then we're going to take the black, we're going to fold it up so that the ends meet and do the same with the yellow. So basically you have the black and the yellow that are bisecting each other and you're pulling them together so that their ends meet. Then we're going to take that strand of black we're going to tie it around the black to knot it in place. And then we're going to do the same with the yellow. So we have the black looped through the yellow and both of them tied off. So now we have the dark yarn heading off to the top here, and what will be the belly, the yellow yarn coming off the top, off the bottom. We're going to take our variegated yarn that we're going to be for wings, and we're going to lay that horizontally right across there. Then we're going to take our small piece of wadded up paper and we're going to tuck that down in there, and that's going to give our body a little bit more depth. We're going to take the top yarn and pull it down over, and from above you can almost kind of see the shape of a bird already. There's the back, and we've got two wings outstretched, and here's his tail. But our bird is going to be perched, so we're going to go ahead and pull our wings back. And pick him up, and you can start to see him coming together. If you're looking at him from the front, there's the top, his beak will go right there, his belly, and there's his wings. Now comes the tricky part, and it's only tricky if you only have two hands. So what we need to do is we need to take another piece of yarn, and I'm going to use the variegated, and wrap it around here at the base of the tail behind where that paper is in there. And we need to tie that tight. If you have an extra person to hold your bird while you're tying, that is very helpful. You could also maybe do it with a rubber band, then go back in with the yarn and cut the rubber band away. But you can do it this way too. It just takes a little practice. And once you have your bird done, you just want to kind of move some of that yarn around so that it covers up. You might see some of your paper ball sneaking through there, and just cover it up that way. And that's the basic part of the bird. Now we're going to look at him from behind. And we're going to trim his tail. So it's a nice kind of a V shape. Not quite so shaggy as this. And there we have him. There we have the body of our bird. Next, we're going to make the feet for our birds. We're using the wire that's in your kit. This is a 24 gauge black jewelry wire. It's very easy to bend. That's why we chose this, so you wouldn't need any special tools for this. You can use a thicker wire to make more heftier, more substantial feet. Something like a paper clip actually works pretty well as well, but you will then need to have wire cutters or pliers to help bend it. So I've got about a 6-inch piece of wire here. I'm going to bend it in half and give it a twist. Just like that. Then I'm going to take this side and bend it out and put another loop in there, so that the end of this loop is a little bit behind the end of this loop. This is going to be our center toe, and this is going to be one of the toes on either side. So we're going to give that a pinch, and we're going to give it a twist. And I'm going to do the same on this side, where I'm going to bend it up, make it a little loop. You want your outside ones to match if they can. And twist. there's our 3 toes. Now you're going to take these ones at the heel, basically, and you're going to twist those. And then bend that up and you've got a little bird foot there. See it from the side? Then, since this is a fine wire, we'll want to trim this off. You can use wire cutters, but since this is a fine wire, a pair of scissors, not your good fabric scissors, but a pair of craft scissors, you can just trim that off. And there you have your bird foot. So now we have all of our pieces. We can assemble our final bird. We have our body that we made, our fat little chickadee here. We have 2 feet, 2 eyes. Those are the beads that are encased in tape in your kit. And then the beak that we made earlier that the glue is dried on. So we're going to take our glue. We're going to decide where do we want our eyes. Kind of right in that area. And just a little dot of glue. Now I'm just using a plain Elmer's white glue. If you have like some E6000 craft glue or a hot glue gun or anything like that, that will work just fine. If you have other beads lying around your house, this is a good use for those 1 or 2 beads left over from other projects. Look at the top, you can get your, this is eyes. Carefully. Now our beak we made, but I don't want it to be that long. That is an oversized beak for this size bird. So we're just going to trim it off. I just want him to have a little beak. It's not a woodpecker. And we're going to do the same sort of thing, just a little. Dab of glue in there. Beak will go glue right in there. For a sec. And then you're going to do the same thing with the feet. We have them and we're just going to coat the legs basically with glue. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. Going to get them up in there. Now they're not going to go, they may not go real far because you do have that wadded up ball of paper in the middle, right? They just need to go in just enough to hold them secure. So again, we're just going to coat his little leg with glue. That up there inside, in between the strands of yarn. And there you have it. There's your little yarn bird made from bits and pieces of yarn. A lot of this stuff you can find around your house. And again, you can put him on a wreath. You can make him whatever colors you want. You can do if you don't have a variegated yarn, which is nice for the wings, you could do like the black on the top, the yellow here, and then you can do a mixture of colors of yarn there in the wings. So you can really use up those scraps. And there's your fat little happy yarn bird.